Hi, friends. Welcome in. Today's conversation is about an emotion that I know if you've lived on this planet for at least 10 years of your life, you have felt before. And that emotion is the emotion of being argumentative. Okay, I'm the first to admit I've definitely experienced this more than 20, 30 times in my life. So we're holding space for that today, so stay tuned. You're listening to the Essential Oils Scoop podcast. We're here to help you confidently using essential oils in your daily life. No fluff, just real talk and practical tips. Each episode brings you education, inspiration, and of course, our scoop of the day. Let's elevate your wellness one drop at a time. Hey, Sarah, truth be told, I think a lot of people, not just myself, have possibly struggled with this emotion, feeling very argumentative.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Like
Mhm.
a lot of it has to do with, when you're feeling argumentative, generally speaking, you want to get your point across.
Mhm.
You are very entrenched in what you believe to be correct,
Yeah,
whether
the
you're right or
truth.
not, but you believe it to be this is the right way to do something, or this is how we should do it, or this is truthful, or whatever. It's your belief system generally butting against somebody else's belief system. You're typically
Mhm.
not argumentative with someone who's agreeing with you.
No, not really. Oh man.
Yeah,
But that's the truth of it. I agree with you. I think it's a control, like a power to control over the conversation, maybe over the idea. Uh, I know in my life, when I've felt argumentative with someone, it is not because I'm agreeing with them. It's because I feel like I'm not being heard.
Mhm.
I'm feeling like they're not respecting the value I'm trying to bring to the conversation, to the situation. I may possibly feel threatened.
Defensive.
And I think this is hitting home for a lot of people. That's why today we're talking about it, and then we're going to bring in oils to help us work through this.
Yeah, yeah. I saw a guy's shirt, yes, I think it was yesterday, and it said, "I'm not arguing, I'm just trying to explain why I'm right." And I'm like, well,
Okay,
yeah,
sir. Yeah.
you know. And I was like, oh, I feel that on a level, right? Because sometimes we're like, I'm not arguing with you. I'm just trying to I want you to understand me. And it comes from not feeling like you're understood. It comes from not feeling hurt. It comes from not feeling validated. And so
Hmm.
and then emotions get super heated super fast from that point because you go from arguing,
Yes.
just like
And there's
going back and forth, you go right into anger. Like it brings us back into anger, and it all comes back down to the points of view are differing and we're not listening to one another.
And the point happens really fast. That moment in time where we stop listening happened so fast that when you're in the heat of that moment, in that situation, the likelihood of you recognizing it is very slim to none. Anger is one of the fastest emotions that we can experience. I couldn't even tell you how many times a day. It's just that easy for us as humans to experience that emotion of anger. And it comes after being argumentative with someone with the situation. And so I love the look deeper questions here that I want to highlight one right now. And it is the first question: why do I feel unheard or threatened? Why? Why do you feel unheard or threatened? That is a really good question. Is it a question with a quick answer? No. No. I mean, maybe 10% of the time, maybe, but it goes deeper. I know for me, I've actually used this more than I would like to admit at this moment in my personal life of why do I feel unheard or threatened in this time with this person? I need to take a step back, and then I lean into an oil. And that is one of the oils that we're going to heavily discuss in this episode because it gives a new perspective. It gives a clear objective and helps me process it so much easier. It being the situation, the conversation. I mean, what's your Sarah, what's your opinion on the look deeper questions? Like, have you utilized any of these personally?
Um, I'll be honest now because I'm one of those people. I'm like, well, I'm just right. I don't need to like, right? Like we all think we're right in our own respects. But I think a lot of times when I pause and go, okay, where are they coming? Like my whole perspective is where are they coming from versus what's where am I coming from? Like where are they come? Where are they? What is their perspective? And like I need to shift into their perspective for a few minutes, and like I need to like,
Try to
okay,
think it in their way, like try to think,
right. Right. Like I
okay.
was talking to my son about a situation yesterday and something that had happened at work, and I was like, okay, well, look at it from this person's point of view for a second. Like let's stop with what your perspective is. I hear you and I understand your perspective. But let's hear it. Let's like
Hmm.
what do you think it would be if you look at this person, what is the perspective there? And as we discuss what that person's perspective might be, he came to the conclusion of, oh, that person, okay, you know what? Maybe they did do the right thing. It didn't look right to him at the time, but when you look at it from this other person's perspective, he's like, oh, wait, maybe they didn't say those things or do that to insult me, but to educate me. And so when I was like, 'cause scenario could have been, this other thing. We went through some other scenarios that could have happened. And I'm like, in this case, this is the best case scenario. And he was like, okay. And then one of his other coworkers brought up the situation again today when he talked to him, and Scott was able to say, you know what? From her perspective, she did the right thing. And was able to actually defend the person he was having kind of this argumentative feelings with because he shifted for 2 seconds. Oh, it was probably a little bit longer than that. We had a pretty lengthy conversation, but he was able to shift the perspective and look at her perspective and look at what it did and go, okay, she's actually not to blame in this situation. She actually did the right thing, but it took some taking us to a few steps back, not being angry and just going, okay, whoa, stop. I know what you think you're going through right this second, but if you stop, look at the other person's perspective for a minute, you'll understand where they're coming from and why it's so important to them. And then maybe you can be on the same page, or maybe you can at least be a little bit,
Find some common ground.
yeah, and then work through it a little bit easier. So I think
Yeah.
that's where I always come from is I don't necessarily use these like, why do I feel unheard? Why do I feel da 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 da? It's more like what is the other person's perspective that I'm not understanding? As is typically the direction I go because I know I can be a stubborn person. Okay. I
Mhm.
know I can be stubborn. I know I can think I'm right. I know I can think this is
You
important
have
enough
strong
for me.
beliefs, right? You have these
Yeah.
strong.
And I know I do. So I have to
Mhm.
pause. When I pause, I don't think about me. I think about, okay, what's the other perspective of this challenge that I'm so passionate about? Why am I so angry about? I will go, why am I so angry about this situation? Why is this making me have so many feelings? But I generally go, what's the other person's perspective? What
Yeah,
what
you
am I
try to look at
not
it through the lens
seeing?
of their side.
Yeah, because then I
Yeah.
can understand where I'm like lacking in my own views
Hmm.
and okay, and I can be a lot more empathetic and sympathetic with somebody if I understand where they're coming from. If I don't understand where they're coming from, I have no empathy, I have no sympathy. I'm just like, and I don't like playing a victim, right? So this is why
Yeah.
I go into that like, okay, it's not about me. let's look and shift my perspective of what is it about them. And so probably if I was looking at these look deeper questions, um, am I using words to regain power or control is probably more of it because why am I being argumentative? I'm trying to control the situation or I'm trying to control the power play, right? Like
Yeah,
I'm in that
mhm.
part. So that one probably more than me feeling unheard or threatened, I think plays it more into me because I've done enough work on me to look at a different perspective of where are they coming from? What are they doing? What are they thinking? What are they feeling? What's their background that I'm not understanding?
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
a little bit different. So I don't actually use the look deeper questions for this particular thing in my life because I typically come from I come from that perspective of if I do, it's like, why do I feel like I have to like get angry to be like to get my point across?
Mhm.
Why?
Yeah.
Why am I trying? And what am I trying to control? Because I try to control way too much. I know that. I can
Well,
honestly say I know I try to control outcomes. I try to control what I'm thinking, or I'm trying to control a situation because I don't want to feel out of control.
yeah. Well, out of control sucks. That's my personal opinion. Like I hate feeling out of control. It does my nervous system no good to feel that way. But again, going back to essential oils, I'm so freaking grateful for the tools that we have to lean into, for the wisdom to understand it and take action. Now, cardamom is the essential oil that Sarah and I want to spend time on today for the emotion of argumentative. Okay.
Mhm.
Again, don't lie to yourself. We've all had this emotion.
Oh,
Some of us struggle with it more often than you'd like to possibly admit. So this is especially for you. Cardamom. His Sarah's eyes just got real big.
well,
What were you gonna say?
I was just thinking about, we all have a family member or a friend that's very argumentative or can be very argumentative. And I'm like, honestly, there's a bunch of oils in this book, but one of the oils I really like using when that person is coming to my house is I use oregano. So I'm just saying there's a lot of oils to be used. Cardamom
Mhm.
is the one that Vicky and I love because I think it's very telling. But there's oregano, there's palmarosa, which is one we very rarely talk about that because it's a limited edition oil. Cardamom, lavender, spearmint, niaouli, that's another one that's a
Mhm.
little lesser talked about as well, and forgive. And they're all great oils. If you are feeling called to one of these oils that we're not highlighting, go with your gut and trust your intuition. We're not saying you have to use this one oil because we say so.
Correct.
We are saying this is the one we're going to highlight because this is the one we feel like more people can um uh like vibe with. What's the word I'm looking for? Like you can
Well, I
just
mean, I feel like this out of all the other ones, other than spearmint, would be an oil that you most likely have or would be using for other reasons, like chest congestion. I don't know. Like you would just use cardamom for other things. Palmarosa, if it wasn't an LTO, we would highlight it in this episode because it is the essential oil of emotional growth and maturity. Period. It is a really great oil, and maybe we'll highlight it just to highlight it for funsies. But today we do actually want to spend some good time on cardamom. Cardamom, some of you know this, and some of you, if you're new here, welcome. We're so happy you're here. Don't forget to like, share, follow, and subscribe. We would love that. But cardamom, I was introduced to it as the stupid people oil. I'm making myself cough here. Meaning, when you have a hard time around a certain somebody, we know between you and I and who any other ears listening, we have no control over that other person. We don't. Never will, never did, but you do have cardamom. So diffusing, applying to your pulse points, having around you as that like energetic shield in a sense. It's known as a stupid people oil. If you're going to be around stupid people doing stupid things, making stupid decisions, don't let that affect who you are and what you do. So cardamom is the essential oil of objectivity, but I will forever know it as the stupid people oil. Sarah, have you ever heard that of cardamom?
I have not, but it's funny. Like I've not heard that. I haven't heard it called that because I go to like me. See, like before when we're talking about the look deeper questions, I go to other people like, okay, why do I need to like, what is this? What's their perspective, right? But this one, like when it talks about sometimes when anger goes to their head and they get hot-headed, like that is like, this is the oil to use when you are beyond being able to like use logic.
Yeah, when logic is out the door,
When
which
you've
happens quickly.
when you've lost that sense of, okay, let me take a breath, let me take a beat, and like, what is their perspective, right? Usually for me, and I'm just speaking for me, I don't get that. I don't get that. What is their perspective until after the argument or after everything has already blown up. Okay. And then I usually have to eat some humble pie and go back to that person and apologize, which is so hard to do sometimes for us, right? But this is a great in the moment oil for me. This is the oil that I have to reach for when I'm in that I'm so angry. I need to like kick something because I like
Mhm.
kickboxing, right? So I like to go kick the bag. And so, like, if I'm to that point of where I need to go start kicking my bag in my garage, I need to grab this oil because this is the oil that's going to calm me down really fast from hitting that boiling point of losing control and not able to function properly and not having objectivity and all objectivity and all of the things the rational brain has just gone, right?
Mhm.
My
Yeah,
primal brain has now taken over.
yes, in the book, and I want to read this because I can't say it any better than this. Cardamom is especially helpful for times when one's anger goes to their head, causing them to become hot-headed, what Sarah was talking about. In such situations, the individual becomes inebriated with anger. Yeah, hi, I've been there before, okay? Losing control and rational function. Cardamom helps to bring balance, mental clarity, and objectivity during moments of extreme anger and frustration. Now, why wouldn't you want to subscribe to something that's going to help bring you back down to a place of level-headedness?
Mhm.
Not tapping in, raising your cortisol levels. Like, no, just no, it's not good for our health, period. But this oil is such a great tool for this right now.
And I like where it talks about it's for people who hyper focus on their problems. If you're hyper focusing and you're just like in this like headspace of just focusing on it over and over and regurgitating it, or you have a long history of being angry, this is an oil for you.
Or
If
blaming
you
others.
are blaming others, yes, or having issues where you think you have to blame everybody other than yourself and taking responsibility, which is a whole nother subject, this is a good oil. This is a good oil. This is a good starting oil. I would say this is your start. This is where
Hmm.
you start with this because you're so stuck in your own head and so angry and so frustrated. This is your starting oil. Let's get it on your body. So you're going to put that on your solar plexus. So it's like
Hmm.
just below your sternum. You're going to put that on. You're going to like rub it around. Um, some people, I would say, dilute. Cardamom is a wonderful spice to cook with. So just know it's a spice. So we probably might want to dilute. Um, if you've never used it before and you don't know how your skin's going to
Hmm.
react, dilute. Um, and then put it wherever your anger is being held. Because sometimes we're feeling it deep in our chest, sometimes we're feeling it in our gut, and truth, sometimes I just want to hit something. And so I might be feeling anger in my fists, which sounds weird, but put a drop on your hands, rub it on your hands. So like it doesn't actually, you don't actually connect with anyone with that
Mine
fist.
gets stuck in my throat chakra. a lot. It's like I can get so heated that four-letter words and hurtful things want to jump out of my mouth when I feel, right, that someone is acting ridiculous. So there, but yeah, I would dilute for me. I have sensitive skin. I would dilute cardamom with FCO or like a roller of copaiba because y'all know copaiba is my jam. But yes, I agree with you, Sarah. Putting it where you're feeling it in your body. That's important
Mhm.
to listen to that. That is your body's signal telling you, "Hey, put it here." Obviously not your eyes or up your nose or in your ears, like common sense here.
Yeah. But yeah, that's that I would just if you're feeling it, put it where you're feeling it. Like
Mhm.
I don't know, like your heart, like I feel it a lot of times I'll feel it deep in my chest or I'll feel it like I will feel it in my fists. I will feel anger in my fists. Like I will clench, right? I will clench my fists. Like have you ever done that where you're so angry you clench your
I have seen,
fists?
yes, but I have seen you, witnessed you in person. There was a situation that happened, and I knew just because I know you so well. I was like, "Ooh, this is hitting a nerve." And sure enough, I saw your fists. Like
Huh?
you made a fists.
I will
Uh-huh.
clench. I will. I will
Yeah.
clench. And this is where I love kickboxing and like kicking a bag or punching a bag. And I really love putting my gloves on and I like getting out my frustration because for me, I think it's like that's the outlet is just like
Mhm. Well, you
hitting
have to
something.
release that energy.
Yeah. And so I think that's so I will clench. If I get really angry, you will see me clench and I will ball up because I will get so frustrated. I ball
Mhm.
up. And so it's better to ball up around an oil. Like it's better just to clench that
Yes.
oil, right? And be like, okay, I'm just right. And then there'll be times where you'll see me, and if I'm clenched like this, it's like it's over. Don't talk to me right that second because I need to take a
Give her a
deep breath.
moment.
Yeah, because I will clench up. Now, do I actually hit people? No, but I want to. There's a part of me. There's a part of me when I'm really angry with you, I will say I need to step away. And that is your signal that you better run,
Hmm.
hide, and don't come near me because I can get scrappy if I need to,
That was
right?
your
Like,
warning of
don't touch me
respect what I just told you. Yeah.
because
Well,
I can get
this
scrappy.
brings me into saying, and this brings me into another part of the description of cardamom being the oil of objectivity. Cardamom helps individuals to let go of emotional distortion, which causes them to objectify other people and see them as inconveniences. When I'm pissed off, when I'm peeved, I, this oil comes in handy all of the time. And I'm not going to say it's a miracle in a bottle where it's just like a switch turns on and I'm fine. No, but it allows me to work through what needs to be worked through versus shoving it in a corner, which I got really good at such a young age. Okay. I'm just being real with you. I have come such a long way. Now, I do think cardamom is an oil. If you are a human that has struggled with objectivity specifically, because yeah, that's the conversation we're having, and you do have cardamom, use it for this reason. And I'm just going to tell you my scoop right now because it doesn't stop there. I would love for you to either work with Sarah or myself in an emotion session, an emotions coaching session. There is so many things that can come through during one session that you thought you were over, you thought that wasn't an issue. You may have thought that, oh, I had no idea. But the power and it just gets good. It just gets good. And I want to give you that opportunity. So we have that. We are emotions coaches for a reason. That's one of the things that we do. And my my scoop of the day is for you too. If you've never experienced one, book one with Sarah or book one with myself. It is that great. So, yeah,
Yeah,
I love
no,
this oil, Sarah. I do.
it's good. You were talking a little bit about your throat. And so if you are like Vicky and you hold that emotion in your throat, I'm going to invite you to use spearmint
Yep. That's,
because
spearmint.
spearmint is the oil of confident speech. And like
Hmm.
a lot of times the reason why we um things get stuck there is because we're not actually using our true voice. We're not actually saying what we're thinking.
We're
And
holding
so
back.
sometimes holding back some of our true thoughts, and instead words come out that aren't really our true thoughts, they're just explicitives so we can show that we're angry.
Yeah. Again, going
But
back
it's
into argumentative, like and this is something that, and this isn't the time and place, but I'm briefly going to mention, I became very good at shutting up as a child because fear of XYZ. So understanding why, still to this day, sometimes I will struggle where I said it's held in my throat. It's because I had trained myself to do that. And thank Jesus for spearmint. Thank Jesus for cardamom and the emotions coach. Like all of these things accumulated to help me work through that. But 1 billion percent, Sarah, 1 billion percent, it was being held there because I was holding back. I was too afraid. I was too shy, too timid to communicate my truth in that moment. And spearmint is a beautiful, and it smells divine. Let's be real.
yeah.
It's so good. Helps me express it. And even to this day, I lean on it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Lavender's another one that talks about for argumentative, and lavender's another great one when you're feeling like your emotions are stuck right there in your throat, because that one's like calm speech. That what gives you the ability to calm down and to release what you need to speak out for your truth. So like there's a lot, and this is why we love these
so good.
oils because there's no one size fits all oil, right?
Mm-mm.
We can really tailor our oil protocols for exactly what you need. Exactly what you need. Like I can't convey this enough to you of how much this is not a one size fits all, but this is so customizable for you. This
Hmm.
is customized down to exactly what you need. Like I had a friend who was here and like they were talking about a knee issue, right? And I was like, okay, here's the da, 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 here's the issues, here's this. When we go into this, like into the emotional part of it, I'm like, okay, this is the oil you need. Let's put it. And I was like, this is gonna sound weird, but I want you to put that oil in your knee. And they were like, what? Yeah, great. I know it's gonna sound crazy. It's fine. Just go with it. You can question it later and I can give you the science later, but can you just do it for me right this second?
Yeah.
An hour later, I was getting a text. The knee pain has cleared up. Yeah, I know. And it's like it was lying, right? Not even an oil that you would say, it wasn't like deep blue or something you would be like, oh, this is muscle pain. No, it was
Yeah.
literally emotional, right?
I was gonna say you were supporting the emotion. And yeah.
So if you are one of these people like Vicky who has it like really stuck in their throat, and she's not alone because I remember talking to a coworker a very long time ago and telling her she needed to start using lavender on a regular basis. And lo and behold, she had a lot to say. And she was always suppressing her own voice. And now she's like, has a crazy YouTube channel. Not crazy, it's a great YouTube channel. Now she's got this big, huge following and this audience, and she does this thing because she got rid of some of the things that were trapped inside of her throat and keeping her from using her voice in a productive way. And that's all we're saying is that these oils will help you to use and find your voice and use them in a productive way so that you can start becoming the person that you are meant to be and not just like the shell of a person that you used to be.
Amen. Just amen. I love it. You already have my scoop, y'all. Take action. Pick an
Yeah,
oil. Pick
pick
many.
it. Pick one of these oils that we very briefly discussed other oils, but like take one of these oils, start, if nothing else, diffuse it. If you
Hmm.
feel like you are on that brink of just being super annoyed right this second, and you know it's all going to come out eventually, start with just diffusing cardamom. If you do not have cardamom in your home, but you have breathe, breathe is in cardamom is in breathe.
Hmm.
At least put breathe on. Like, at least get something on you so you are starting to calm. Put the lavender on. Okay, lavender's super common. Everybody's got lavender, right? Like,
Yeah.
I can't, if you're in oils at all, you've got lavender, unless
I'd
you're
hope
like,
so. I'd
unless you
hope
have
so.
some weird allergy, but like you probably have lavender or cardamom or breathe or something else in your home. Use it.
Yeah.
Use it. Don't just, it does no good sitting on your shelf and collecting dust.
It
Use your
really
oil,
doesn't.
diffuse it.
You know what will help you too is getting the freaking book. Okay. Again, love you, but we're only in your ear twice a week. Maybe you binge us. Good. I'm glad because if you're like us, we get to relearn this. We can't retain all of it all the time. But these resource books that we use on a daily basis, that is why we're able to be here today recording these episodes for you because we have these tools and we open them up and share it with you. So you can do that by ordering the book. The link is down below. We love you.
Thanks for tuning in, and we hope you enjoyed today's episode and are feeling inspired to dive in even deeper into the world of essential oils. Want exclusive offers, content, and recipes? Click on the newsletter link in the show notes today. Looking for even more wellness inspiration? Dive into our previous episodes and stay in the loop by following us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at the Essential Oil Scoop Podcast. Thanks for being a part of our essential oil family. And remember, hit the subscribe button to be notified every time we upload a brand new episode.